So here is Katt Williams explaining how Hollywood tried to decapitate Dave Chappelle. Remember, guys, he had turned down, I believe it was $50 million, he said, and then he had moved to Africa. But it was all for a reason. Everybody thought he was crazy for turning down the $50 million. But let me tell you, all money ain't good money. That $50 million came with stipulations and strings. Let's listen to what Katt Williams had to say about the situation.
Dave Chappelle was decapitated in front of us. They called him Pilot Boy because he had 19 pilots in Hollywood, and everybody passed on him and said his show. And when he made $500 million, they said even though his contract said he should get half of it, they said he made too much for the contract to be valid, so we'll offer you 10% of what you made. You mean he made $500 million and they offered him 50? Yes. And he said, what do you think my fans are going to say when they find out you offered me 10% of what I made you? And they said, your fans will believe that you're a crazy crackhead by the time you get home. And my nigga got on the flight in LA, and by the time he got to Ohio, it was so.
And I do recall the interview that he had with Oprah. Dave Chappelle had a few words to say to clarify what really happened, why he moved to Africa when he moved to Africa. But what I did not know is that when he moved to Africa, he didn't tell anyone, including his wife and children, which he thought was okay. And that's where I think he had the meltdown, because if you think it's okay to move to a different country and not tell your wife and your children, then something is wrong. Maybe he was experiencing some type of pressure from his wife also. Who knows? Maybe they had marital difficulties at the time. It's all alleged. I don't know for sure, but it could be. For him to move away from his wife and not tell her until after the fact. He said she was going to find out, she was going to know, she was going to be informed, but after the fact. Who does that? Only a person who had a mental breakdown. That's what I think. My opinion. But anytime you leave your wife, and how many kids did he have at the time? About 5? You leave all them kids with your wife, you get on a plane and you say, I'm going to let her know later when I get to my destination. And you instruct certain people what to tell her before you left. That's what he said. I'm telling you, that's a nervous breakdown. That's a classic sign. You're running from your problems. When you are in the limelight, like Dave Chappelle, and you're given that heavy responsibility of $50 million, and then you got to write all these jokes and all these different shows, you got to know what you're stepping into. You got to be so strong about who you are that you can face all adversities, because they're going to keep coming. The drug dealers are going to offer you pills. Some of the folks out there who wants to exploit you are going to come after you. You got to be very strong to say no, and you mean it, and not buckle because of all the pressure from the producers to the directors. They're going to be coming because they know you're into the money, and they're going to be offering you all kinds of stuff. And if you don't do what they say, they're going to make you out to be crazy and say that you're crazy, and they're going to tell everybody you're crazy. But you got to be strong and say, do your best. That's what you got to tell them. Do your best, because I know who I am. And there's no threats that you can throw at me that's going to make me buckle to your demands. So Dave said he needed to get away, and the safest place at the time was Africa. And to me, it seemed like a nervous breakdown, and he's not calling it that. He just said he needed to get away to get his mind straight and clear. But to me, like I said before, that's a classic sign of a nervous breakdown. When you can't deal with your stressors, your problems, and you run. Because that's what he did. He ran away.
Just disappeared. I haven't gotten to why you just disappeared. So you had that moment. The guy's laughing too much. Was that the tipping point for you? Was that the straw?
That was the first tipping point.
Okay.
And then they put in the paper that I had pneumonia, God knows what. Mm-hmm. It was walking pneumonia because I was walking all over the place. I was relaxing. And then after that, I was coming back to the show, and Then they were like, well, Dave, you should just back up the pneumonia story. And I was like, that was your thing. I'm not backing up a pneumonia story. And then the next day it was in the paper that I had writer's block. Then I knew something was getting ready to get stressful because I hadn't even started writing. I was on the schedule to write. So I was like, what's going on? Are they going to...
So these are your people trying to
manipulate me. Sounds like somebody's trying to put young Dave in a compromising position. Oprah. But, okay, so then I got worse. So when I said I'm not going to do it, then all of a sudden it was like, well, now he has walking pneumonia. And then I knew long before I walked, I had considered walking.
You had considered
I had considered walking because I went back to work and the vitamin love was gone because it was a real ugly negotiation. It's a situation where now everybody's taking credit for this and that and the other. It was getting ridiculous. And I knew I was going to leave, so I got ahead of schedule and I bounced. And I didn't tell anybody where I was going. The whole time, they're trying to convince me I'm insane. They were trying to get me to take psychotic medication. Yeah. Like I'm sitting around, I was stressed out, but the people that were telling me I was insane, I believe that they knew what was going on. So, this was troublesome.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not taking this medicine, man, because I know how these people be trying to control you or maybe discredit you. I was afraid,
But you were stressed out. That's
why. There's no question. But it's very stressful for someone to constantly walk behind you and say, you're insane. Oh, hey, how about this? I showed up to work the first week, and where my office used to be, they built a wall there.
Why?
I didn't know why. But it came out later that they were like, well, they said you wanted it. I don't want to be walled up in the office. I like hanging out and talking.
Okay. So you got up and you walked out and nobody knew where you were going. Did your family know?
I called my brother.
Yeah.
Me and my brother, real cool. I called him up, was like, I'm going to Africa. He was like, cool, man, it's good.
Did your wife and children know where you were going?
No.
No, nobody knew.
No. I bounced.
Now, that sounds a little crazy.
It's not crazy because the situation kind of warranted it.
Okay.
Because certain people around me were putting my sanity in question, I would meet too much obstruction if I would say I'm doing something like this.
Yeah, okay.
So I figured it wasn't that I didn't tell my wife. It was like I'm not telling her till after I'm gone, which was a mistake, but it wasn't a crazy mistake. It's just a dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like,
as a husband, she should have known where you were gone. Is that what you're saying?
She was gonna know.
Okay.
I called my brother. I gave him a list. He called so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. And I took off. Then I called my wife.
Okay. Why were you going to Africa specifically?
1, I needed a break.
Need a break.
2, we have family, friends down there. And 3, I just felt like it was a place where I could really reflect. Mm-hmm. It's just a place that I got to go.
And what did you conclude about yourself?
Oh, but then I wasn't paying attention. I felt really guilty about being asleep at the wheel.
Mm.
I felt guilty about it because I forgot the hostility of the environment of show business. It's it's not a docile environment. It's a challenging environment.
Yes.
And there's some quote that someone had told me that says success takes you where character cannot sustain you.
Wow. That's a good quote.
I don't care who you think you are or how you think you do it. You cannot imagine what celebrities go through.
Success takes you where character cannot sustain you. That's a good quote. I got to remember that.
As far as how your integrity and your self-image and all these things.
Okay, this is a theory that I've always had, and I've discussed this with other people. The idea that if you don't know who you are when this big thing hits, when the big stuff comes, if you don't know who you are and can't stand in the center of yourself, then you end up confused and feeling thwarted and feeling diffused in many directions because everybody is pulling on you. Would you say that was part of your issue, trying to find the center for yourself?
Absolutely.
When you are suddenly given a $50 million contract when you've been making I don't know what before, that is a lot to orchestrate, to handle, and a lot for other people to figure out.
Oh, in that sense, it was like, all right, you're the CEO of a $50 million company. Good luck.
Yeah. Now you figure it out.
Right.
But you've worked your whole life for it. You wanted it. You've, struggled to get it. Sacrificed, rejected many times, told that things wouldn't work. And then all of a sudden, you're the genius, and we're going to give you $50 million. And that was too much for you to handle?
No. That's the thing that I always read that makes me mad. No. It was the fame. Couldn't stand the fame.
Yeah.
I love being famous.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. When I came out here and everybody was like, hooray, I was like, I'm back on TV.
Okay, so that's clear. It's not the fame. It's what?
It's the way the people around you position themselves around you to get in your pockets and in your mind.
Yeah.
That is infuriating to me.
One of the phrases I always loved is, to whom much is given, much is expected. And part of it is...
I know, I'm like Spider-Man, Peter. Great power comes great responsibility.
No, but it does. And part of that is not just being up on stage, it's handling the rest of the business and handling all the people that are lined up at your door for whatever reason.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
You just don't get to 50 million with no strings attached.
Yeah. But at a certain point, it was like, all right, this is enough.
Yeah. Colleagues were quoted as saying that you had become increasingly paranoid. Would you say you were paranoid?
Sure. First of all, what is a black man without his paranoia intact? You might win $100 in a poker game and be on the subway. You're going to look over your shoulder. They just said in everything I had $50 million. That's like making me a marked man.
So did you go to a psychiatric hospital?
In South Africa?
Yeah.
Who? Oh, yeah, that's right. I was so...
I'm only asking because I need to ask.
I got to get people thinking, all right, who goes from America to Africa for medical attention? I cannot imagine. This is sound like the most irresponsible journalism in the world. I cannot imagine being a journalist and hearing this from these people and just running with it. It was on everything.
Yeah.
So Dave Chappelle says there's no way he would have left America to go to Africa for any mental health care because America, this is what I'm gathering from what he said, America have one of the best medical health or healthcare systems. And so there's no way he would have left just for that. That's on one hand. On the other hand, he's saying he left to get his mind straight. So it was mental health issues. Anytime you're trying to get your mind right and you get on a plane and go somewhere just to clear your mind and get away from your problems, that's a mental health issue. Now, he said he didn't seek any professional treatment, but it sounded to me, I don't know what it sounded like to you guys. Drop it in the comment section, your reaction and your take on this. It sounded to me like if he had a nervous breakdown. Now, everybody wants to weigh in on what Katt had to say with that video he put out on Club Shay Shay, the interview that he did with Club Shay Shay. Aries Spears wants to weigh in, and this is what he had to say. Aries Spears says the only reason why he's weighing in is because his name was called and he wants to set the record straight.
Yo, what up? It's your boy Aries Spears here. A lot of people have been asking me on the Instagram about my thoughts on the Katt Williams situation, and he did mention me, which was a head scratcher because I don't know what I did to him. I was going to save this for my podcast, but I might as well kind of get into it now. And basically, I'm going to repeat the same thing on my podcast. And, again, people ask me what I thought about it. And I'm going to say this. I think it's sad. It saddens me to know that my people, the people I love, black people, as well as everybody else, but my people come first. Black people, we love drama. We love drama. We stew in it. We love it so much that we allow it to be detrimental to the progress of us and a culture. We absolutely love it. Because I'm asking myself, why did he do something that was both unnecessary and absolutely pointless? And in reading the comments, you know, it's I can tell we love drama by the shit we say, you know. Protect Katt at all costs. We gotta protect Katt. He the GOAT. He the GOAT. And I want to address both those things. All right, number one, the GOAT thing is a useless title. Every comedian, every entertainer, every performer is the GOAT to their fan base. Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer are the GOATs to their fan base. Wanda Sykes, everybody he called out, Ricky Smiley, Kevin Hart, Chris Tucker, they're all GOATs to their fan base. I get called a GOAT and a legend all the time. If you think I'm tooting my own horn, look at my comedy clips. Go through the comments. Aries, you a GOAT. You a legend. While that's flattering, it's a useless title. There can only be one GOAT, and his name was Richard Pryor. I remember one of my favorite things to watch was the 30 for 30 with Shaq on ESPN when he was playing for the Orlando Magic. And in his younger days, he goes, you know, when people would ask me whose team is it, when you're in your 20s, you care about shit like that. I had to let people know it was my team. But as I got older, I realized that's a useless title because the ultimate goal was to win a championship. So as far as y'all saying who the GOAT is, Katt is your GOAT. I understand that. But that's a useless title. Then you say things like, yo, we got to protect Katt at all costs. Protect him at all costs. Did he cure cancer? Did he cure AIDS? Did he end racism? Did he figure out black poverty? Turn the volume down. Protect Katt at all costs. Knock it off. Keep it in perspective. This is a news cycle. That's all this is. It's a news cycle. This ain't curing cancer. This ain't nothing to protect nobody about. Oh, he shook up Hollywood. He exposed Hollywood. Ooh, he told the truth. Again, to me, this is pointless. What did he do? What did he change? He didn't change anything. Steve Harvey is still going to be Steve Harvey. The success, the fame, the money, the momentum, the adulation, the respect, the adoration from the fans is still going to all be there. Same thing with Cedric. Same thing with Chris Tucker. Same thing with Ludacris. Same thing with Wanda Sykes. Same thing with me. Same thing with Ricky Smiley. Everybody that he named will still go on. Nothing has changed. All right? This wasn't life or world changing. It's a news cycle. And it's funny because this is why I say social media is both a blessing and a curse and dangerous. This phone, this device gives everybody a platform. Everybody gets to be heard, which is power. And everybody don't deserve power. I'm reading some of the comments about Kevin, and I'm reading stupid shit like, oh man, Kevin's fan base is turning on him now. Katt done made it so his fan base is turning on him now. Kevin ain't never been funny. He ain't funnier than Katt. Well, first of all of that is subjective. Secondly, the people are saying that Kevin ain't funny or he ain't funnier than Katt were never Kevin Hart fans to begin with. Don't get it twisted. Kevin Hart is a global phenomenon. He's globally famous. He can go anywhere in the world and sell out a whole arena or stadium by himself. The box office movie receipts don't lie. The tickets, the receipts at the ticket gate that you go through when you go to the arena sold out, don't lie. So for all these people that think that Katt has turned the world on its axis about Kevin, knock it off. Turn the volume down. Kevin is just fine. And again, those people saying that negative shit about Kevin were never fans to begin with. But you let people tell it, average Joes who now have power because of the phone and the platform, we must, Katt exposed the Illuminati. We must stop giving our money to these devil worshippers. We must take our power back. What power? You're not that serious. You're not that important. Stay in your lane.
As you come onto the page, don't forget to hit the like bell and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so as yet. And keep in mind that these thoughts that I am spewing is just my commentary. Now we see where Cedric the entertainer wants to throw his 2 cents in because his name was called also. I'm telling you, Katt Williams stirred up a hornet's nest. Now let's listen to Cedric the entertainer and listen to what he has to say.
What up, y'all? What's up? It's Ed. I'm addressing this Katt Williams thing one time, man. I saw people on there really commenting about that. Look, I have no idea what this brother is talking about. That joke is over 30 years old, close to 30-some years old. I did the Kings of Comedy in 1999. Probably had been doing that joke 6-7 years before that. I don't even know if Katt was doing comedy then. So, again, he's a talented brother. I have no idea what he's talking about. I've never seen Katt do a space shuttle joke. So, that may be something that he believes is true. I've written a lot of jokes. I've had a lot of comedians steal my jokes as well. So I understand if you feel, slighted by that, but that's my joke. That's my joke, though. Drive a spaceship to the moon, see the red cutie pie rocking in the background, parallel parking spaceship.
So you guys heard what Cedric the entertainer had to say. A lot of times, I believe, comedians can come up with the same joke, but with a different twist. Maybe that's what happened here with Katt and him, that they came up with the same kind of joke, because you can look at a particular thing. Like if you see somebody stumbling and you make a joke about it, the premise of the joke is someone stumbling. So you can, if 4 people are telling the same joke about this stumbling, it's going to come out different. But the main focus will be the stumbling. So any one of those 4 people can say, you stole my joke. So I believe that's what happened here with this spaceship. They had the same concept. They delivered a joke differently. And then one person said, he stole my joke. But it all depends on when it came out. And maybe even if it came out, let's say Cedric told his joke after Katt about the spaceship. That does not mean that Cedric stole the joke. It just meant that he thought about this spaceship joke and he told it. But he said that he was telling the joke before he even heard about Katt Williams being a comedian. So it's just a lot of, so I believe Katt Williams have beef or perceived disagreement with these guys, and he's coming after them. Next is Mike Epstern. He said, hey, not so fast. Don't forget about me, guys. I got some opinion too. I want to say something concerning Katt Williams weighing in on all of us. Look, he didn't call my name, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to say something, because I want the spotlight too. And he said, hey, Katt, that wasn't right what you did. You left me out. You didn't even call my name. Let's listen to what he has to say.
All right, I did get a little jealous, man. Katt broke the internet and didn't say my name, good or bad. I need the press too, nigga. Shit. Say something about me in there, man. Say something bad about me. I don't care. I got a special coming out. I need the press. Man, we did a movie together.
That was funny. I ain't gonna lie. He said, I need the press too. I got a movie coming out. I need the publicity. And just think, we did a movie together. How can you treat a brother like that? On that note, guys, I'm over and out. We live in very interesting times. Katt Williams said a lot, okay? He dropped the T on everybody. Don't forget to hit the like bell and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Thank you for watching.